start by introducing yourself and what you do. General introduction.
Okay. Hi, I'm Starr and I am a transgender person. I dress like this over the weekends, but I try and get my gender fluidity into my daily life. Well, I don't try to. I look at even if I don't try. So, yeah, I'm a style editor. I write about beauty and fashion. I suppose beauty and fashion has always been completely central to my life. Even before I knew it as concepts, my obsession from my childhood, from my earliest memories, has always been about the way things look. And then later the way things are perceived. Now other people perceive you, how you perceive yourself. And it was natural for me to do that as a job. I landed in it by accident. I never meant it to be my job. Doing something that has to do with appearances, how people think, rather how people perceive you to be. So being able to edit that and control that, how people see you, I suppose. So that's my job. I make people beautiful and make them look the way the public would want people to look, kind of creating an ideal world.
Do you think you're beautiful?
No, I'm not beautiful. I know how to make myself look, create like the ideas of popular culture that people perceive to be beautiful. I've learned the tricks. I know how to stylize things to make it work for popular culture, basically. The American dream, an idealized world, a world where everything is very neat and very perfect and very clipped. My drag identity was probably always there, and I probably wouldn't even want to call it a drag identity because drag to me implies performance. And if people find it entertaining, of course I want people to get something from it, have a reaction to it. That's why I do this. But my gender fluid identity was always there. It was just because of the way I looked, because I never looked like a boy. I always looked ambiguous, so people weren't sure, or they assumed that I was a girl. And then other than that, I always wanted to dress like a girl, really, from my first memory. My first memory really is of me wanting to look like a nurse, because my grandmother was a nurse. Back then they used to wear these little bonnets and this uniform and everything, and I said to my mum, well, I want to be a nurse when I grow up. And she was like, no, you mean a doctor? And I was like, no, I don't want to be a doctor. They don't wear bonnets. I want the little bonnet. I want the little paper cardboard thing in my head. So my grandmother brought that to me. And I've got a picture with, I should really find that picture, of me and my grandmother where I'm wearing the nurse's outfit. If he wants to be a nurse, like, let him dress up as a nurse. So that's probably like the first memory that I have. I was probably about 4 years old. So it was something that was quite secretive. I remember the excitement about getting my first set of lashes, false lashes. So I managed to find a set from the local pharmacy. I was like super excited that in our small little suburban town you could buy false lashes at the pharmacy. So I walked probably like 5 kilometers one Friday night and probably made up a story to my parents about what I was going to get at the pharmacy. And I went to buy my first set of false lashes, and I couldn't wait to get home to try this on in the bathroom, lock the bathroom door and put them on, and just loved it. And ever since then I've had this thing about lashes. But the lashes were just like symbolic of all the other things that I wanted to try. I've forgotten what the question was. What is the question? Drag identity. So the persona that I have in drag, which is probably something that I'm shedding, it's just been part of my evolution to discover myself, was very much built on like fierce women, and I've always gravitated towards caricatures because popular culture doesn't really, I think, take into consideration complexity or the nuances of people. And it's the way that I think that humans are. We don't have the time, our lives are so busy, and we want to be able to box things and label things. So you want to be able to see that it's a sinner or a saint. So yeah, really that's what I've gravitated towards, is creating stereotypes, but doing them beautifully. And making my drag persona was also a stereotype, like a buxom, bimbo blonde, sassy and rich. She needed to look rich. I grew up really poor, so you usually want to get rid of, I think, what you're used to. So she's always had to be very glamorous and look manly, make it rain. I don't have my nails on. I forgot about my nails. It's awful. The devil is in the details. Shit. So, my name. Got the stars on my nails today. Where I got the name Starfucker from, although it's spelled on Facebook as F-A-W-K-E-R, that's just like the conservative part of me. Yeah. So, Starfucker comes from, it's an Americanism, it's a very LA word, a very Hollywood word, and it really is about wannabes. People who latch onto celebs who either want to sleep with them or just want to bask in their reflected glory. Sorry for the slurring. Because I work in fashion, beauty, and my job has always been about making people beautiful, working with celebrities, their hair, their makeup, their styling. It's kind of a dig at myself because I wanted to be famous when I was younger. I thought that is like the ultimate thing to have or to be. And now I work around it, so I'm like a fringe figure in the world of celebrity and popular culture and entertainment and those kind of things. So that really is what my name is about. And yeah, I don't care about fame that much anymore. I know that everybody's people have the same needs. Like fame or getting attention on a massive level will never be enough, it seems. Needing that kind of affirmation from other people about their identity and who they are, and to feel okay about themselves, and it shouldn't be like that, not for anybody. You should be able to find that being okay and zen and everything in yourself. And I guess that's what most of our journeys are about. Well, at least that's my journey. I'm super excited and quite envious of people who feel that they know themselves completely. Like last year somebody said something and I knew it was aimed at me about people who don't know who they are or they're searching for an identity. And it was very hurtful. I felt quite offended by it, and I was like, why am I so offended about this, that somebody would say that I'm looking for an identity? And, well, it is the truth. We evolve all the time, and I'm happy and okay with it now that I'm still evolving, that I'm still peeling off the layers, trying to find out who I am. But I'm getting closer and closer and closer to my authentic self, and I really enjoy that. I like that. It was very comfortable to fit into roles where people expected you to be a certain way. You've fallen into a role that society has prescribed for you and gone like, okay, that's who I'm going to be. Not everybody appreciates it, but then people that you don't expect to applaud it are the people applauding it. And then other people who you would automatically have assumed would be okay with it are not necessarily okay with it. I'm enjoying being Starfucker, and however far she takes me, and wherever that goes next. I probably won't be with her for long anymore, probably go on to something else. But she's been very useful, and I love her for what she's brought into my life. Superpowers. Which superpower would I choose to have? In my dreams I always fly. That's been around like since I was a kid. It was more levitation rather than flying, and I wouldn't be able to fly very high. I knew I could go higher, but that would scare me because I'm afraid of heights. So I stay just high enough to steer clear of whatever is this negative force, this bad thing, evil, demon, whatever it is that is chasing me. But I also enjoy the flying part. So I guess that is something that I would really like to experience, not just on an astral level, in my dream level, but in real life, everyday life. That would be really amazing. The ability to be invisible. I want to be invisible, I guess also for negative reasons. I wish I could say for positive reasons why I would want these certain superpowers, but as a teenager I really tried to be invisible in the way that I dressed, in the way that I conducted myself. I just didn't want people to take notice of me. And people would take notice of me, or to me it seemed generally negatively, because they couldn't tell whether I was a boy or a girl. They still can't some days. I would be right at the back of the class, kind of like making sure that I'm close to my desk and not get noticeable, and they'd be like, oh, the girl with the red hair. And of course everybody in the class would laugh, the teacher wouldn't know what it's about because he'd still be thinking I'm a girl. And then I'd have to answer the question, I have to try and make my voice really deep. And then now I'm starting to do drag, and now I do have a deep voice. Anyways, desperately wanted one when I was a teenager, and I have one when I don't necessarily need one anymore. It's a weird quirk of life that you get the things that you want sometimes just too late. Your timing isn't kind of always aligned with the universe. So yeah, to be invisible, probably just to play pranks on people, do naughty things, to be able to be in somebody else's world for one day. Experience what it's like, and I'd probably cause havoc. Love that. My biggest fear is probably not to be loved. I know my parents love me, but I also know that family and parents aren't always around forever and ever. I guess to always have somebody who loves you, but not anybody, somebody who gets you, somebody who is, if they're not your blood family, your spiritual family, your emotional family, your cultural family. Yeah, not to be okay with myself. I've not been okay with myself for the longest time, so when I die one day, I want to be cool with myself, feel like I'm at peace with what I did, that I did lots or most of the things that I wanted to do. Not have regrets and think like I should have cared less what people think. Trying to constantly remind myself that it doesn't matter what other people think. It really shouldn't matter that much. I don't know why it's such a big part of our society. Maybe it's just me, but I think it is a big part of our society. It's all about appearances, what people think, people's impression of you, image control, image polishing, editing things, portraying it in a certain way. So yeah, to be able to be just okay with who I am. And I think I'm getting there. And it's nice, it's good, it's comfortable. It's a happy place. A content place. Oh, my gummy bear story. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the gummy bears, and I missed the very last episode of it. My mother was getting something domestic, and I was so upset with my mother that I missed the last episode. And the big reason was that the gummy bears were this small tribe of bears with magical powers. They knew there were other bears out there like them, but they just couldn't find them. And I wanted to know if they found the rest of their tribe. And only now that I'm older, I figured the reason why I was so obsessed with gummy bears was that I was looking for my tribe. I was always trying to find the people that I was comfortable with. At school I used to make friends with all the people that were odd ones out or new kids who came into school, because I was trying to find that commonality, because I wasn't like anybody else. To be like other people, I just didn't ever come naturally to me. I'm so happy and so grateful for all the people that I find who are like me, whether they're in another country, or whether I live with them in the same house. So find the tribe, it gives you comfort. Share your experiences with people, and they can choose to learn from that, what they want to, and learn from others. Find your other gummy bears. I think that's super important. I should Google gummy bears and see that last episode. I should have brought my pink cigarettes, my pink and gold cigarettes. Went all the way to New York to get, well, wasn't the only reason of course, but like walked and really researched to find this place that sells Nat Sherman, which is like the only brand that makes pink cigarettes, pink and gold cigarettes. Saw it in a movie, in A Single Man, which is like, everybody should see the movie. It's a movie about loneliness. Anybody who's ever been lonely can relate to the story. But there's a gay man in it, and there's his fag guy girlfriend. She's like the ultimate drag queen. She's got big hair, and she's such a drama queen, and she smokes pink and gold cigarettes. And so I researched it fiercely, and finally managed to track down and see that it's Nat Sherman's. So I got these Nat Sherman's, and I saved them just for special occasions. But I forgot them today, I'm sorry. I guess in a big way who we think we are is so much informed by expectations. Expectations that we are raised with from as kids, basic things like, are you a boy, are you a girl, so you should wear pink or you should wear blue, based on whether you're a boy or a girl. I mean, there are so many other factors that come into play. Are you black, are you white, are you straight, are you gay, all of these things that get built on top of it. And it's impossible for us not to be influenced by those things, because that is the structure and the societal framework within which we are raised. I think it's quite important to try and step back from that and go like, is it right for me? I think many people slip into it easily. Most people do. I don't know if that is because we're culturally geared that way, where it's easy. We're given options, go left or go right. And then you choose that I feel like I'm constantly figuring out who I am. I feel like I'm constantly in adolescence. It'd be nice to get to a place where I go like, okay, yes, this is what I believe in, this is what I not believe in. And I do think I have lots of basic things about morality and all kinds of things that I do believe in, that I've sorted out for myself. But the frills, things about how you're going to dress and all of that is a constant evolution. I'm enjoying going on that evolution, even though it's quite late for me. I feel like a lot of people by a certain age, they go like when they're 25 or when they're 30, this is the career I'm going to have, this is the person I'm going to be to myself, to other people. I think people should challenge themselves and go, the choices that I've made, is it really choices that I've made for myself? Or is it choices that I've made because I've been indoctrinated that way, because my parents expected me to be a certain way, the church or the government or the social group that I'm in expected me to be that way. Like, break out of it, whether you are a boring accountant or whether you're a drag queen. If you want to be a drag queen with a beard or a dirty drag queen, then so be it. You go on that journey. You're going to have to take responsibility for the choices that you've made, of course. But be that and see where it takes you, because I think that is the excess is the path of enlightenment, is it? Keep your excess in check, as long as it doesn't hurt other people. Other people in a physical way, I think. You cannot be responsible for how your parents or society or your boss feels about the new way that you dress or that you think or that you choose to express yourself. You have to live your truth. And I'm just on my journey to live my truth. And I'm loving it. I hope I have enough time to get to a place where I feel really at peace, really enjoy it. But the journey is good. I guess it's about the journey, not the destination. Reach over, church is out.